Hello everyone, I'm Professor Lee of Dr. Anti-Aging and Herbal Medicine TV. From today, I'll tell you about practical telomere aging treatment method that you can practice based on clinical research. Please study hard and practice it. Let's get started. From now on, I'll tell you about lifestyle habits that have been proven in clinical studies to maintain and extend telomere length. First, let's find out what causes telomeres to shorten the fastest. There is chronic stress. In particular, chronic stress causes inflammation, increases oxidative damage, and shortens telomeres, and inhibits the telomerase enzyme. Chronic stress is also an important cause of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, and even Alzheimer's disease, which are related to telomere shortening. When we measure the telomere length of mothers who are under a lot of stress taking care of young children, the TTA-GGG set was 90 sets shorter than women with low stress, and this is about 10 years in biological age. Isn't it incredible? If there is a woman in your family who is struggling with the stress of raising children, you should support her a lot. Also, people who suffer from chronic stress and depression have telomere lengths that are 100 sets shorter than others. People who are stressed at work have telomere lengths that are 5% to 10% shorter than those who are not. So, how should we manage stress? There are 3 stress management methods that have been proven to be effective in protecting telomeres: meditation, exercise, and social support. Various meditations such as yoga and mindfulness reduce stress hormones such as cortisol and maintain a healthy cellular environment. If you meditate consistently for 2 to 3 months, the rate of shortening of telomeres is slower than that of those who do not, and telomerase activity increases by 30 to 40%. Next is social support. We all know how important human relationships are in relieving stress. The telomeres of people who feel lonely are up to 40% shorter on average than those who do not. Warm relationship with family and friends lower stress hormones and strengthen immunity, protecting telomeres. The next cause that has a negative effect on telomere after chronic stress is lack of sleep. First, lack of sleep causes chronic stress, so when the secretion of stress hormones such as cortisol increases, oxidative stress and inflammatory response are promoted, which quickly shorten telomeres. In fact, the telomere length of people who sleep less than 5 hours a day is shorter than that of people who get enough sleep. Second, the process of repairing DNA damage is activated during sleep, but sleep disorders make this process not smooth, so direct damage to telomeres accumulate. It has also been reported that the telomere shortening rate of patients with sleep disorders is about 20% faster than that of people who get normal sleep. In particular, chronic insomnia has an even more negative effect on telomeres. On the other hand, sufficient high-quality sleep makes cells healthy through the telomere protection effect. In clinical trials, it's been confirmed that the speed of telomere shortening slows down as sleep time increases. In addition, as a result of tracking more than 1,000 adults for 5 years and measuring their sleep habits and telomere lengths, those who slept on average of 7 to 8 hours a day had longer telomere and a lower incidence of age-related disease. In addition, regular sleep promotes the secretion of growth hormones, which helps cell repair and increases the activity of telomerase. From now on, you should pay attention to regular sleep of 7 to 9 hours a day. Telomeres of people who do not exercise shorten faster than those who exercise. So, how does exercise help protect and maintain telomeres? First, it reduces oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is one of the main causes of telomeres attacking and shortening. Exercise reduces oxidative stress by promoting the production of antioxidant enzymes that remove free radicals. Second, chronic inflammation is one of the major factors that accelerate telomere shortening. Regular exercise suppresses chronic inflammation by reducing the levels of substances such as cytokines that cause inflammation, helping to maintain telomere length. According to a 2019 study, people who did more than 25 to 30 minutes of aerobic exercise every day had an average of 20% lower level of inflammation markers than the inactive group. Third, exercise promotes the expression of telomerase, contributing to maintaining telomere length. In particular, high-intensity exercise has a powerful effect in promoting telomerase activation, and it has been reported that people who do regularly engage in high-intensity exercise have telomerase activity more than twice as high as those who are inactive. The effect on telomere vary depending on the type of exercise. Let's find out which exercise has the best effect on telomeres through various clinical research results. First, aerobic exercise is known as the exercise that has the strongest effect on maintaining telomere length. According to a 2018 study, people who performed aerobic exercise for more than 20 to 30 minutes every day for 6 months had telomere lengths that were 7 to 9% longer on average than the inactive group during the same period. Second, strength training is very helpful in maintaining muscle mass and improving metabolism, but its direct effect on telomere length is weaker or minimal than aerobic exercise. However, when strength training and aerobic exercise are combined, telomerase activation is further promoted, creating a synergistic effect on maintaining telomere length. Third, high-intensity interval training has the effect of increasing telomerase activity by inducing a rapid increase in oxidative stress and antioxidant response by repeating short and intense exercise followed by rest. In addition, it not only promotes mechanisms to repair DNA damage and protect telomeres at the cellular level, but also acts to enhance cellular stress resistance by promoting the activation of specific genes. According to a 2020 study, a group that did high-intensity exercise for 8 weeks had a 20% increase in telomerase activity, which was 12% higher than the aerobic exercise group. In addition, a study comparing the effect of 3 types of exercise for 45 minutes 3 times a week for 6 months on telomere length changes and telomerase increase in healthy people shows that the groups that did high-intensity interval exercise and aerobic exercise had a significant increase in telomere length and telomerase enzyme activity. In the case of those who did strength training, telomerase activity increased, but there was no significant increase in telomere length. In conclusion, it's recommended to choose high-intensity exercise or aerobic exercise according to your physical condition to protect and increase telomere length. Although strength training has a small effect on extending telomere length, it's recommended to do it in parallel because it also has other anti-aging effect. From now on, I'll tell you about nutrients that have been proven to maintain and extend telomere length. Among the many nutrients, I'll tell you about 2 nutrients, vitamins and nutrients, that directly affect telomere length and aging, and vitamins proven in clinical studies are B, C, D, and E. Among them, I'll tell you about one of the most important vitamins, that is vitamin D. Many studies, including the large-scale group studies and randomized control studies, have confirmed that people with high blood vitamin D concentration have longer telomere length. This is due to the action of vitamin D. Vitamin D regulates the production of immune-active substances in immune cells and reduce inflammatory response. In addition, vitamin D helps to maintain telomere longer by helping to repair DNA damage and reducing stress within cells. In addition to getting enough vitamin D through sunlight, it's also important to consume it through food and supplement, and it's recommended to regularly measure blood concentration. It's recommended to manage vitamin D after the age of 30. You should have a blood test once a year, and if the level is normal, you only need to measure it once a year. If you are found to be deficient, you should begin supplementation therapy with a prescription for injection or oral administration and check at 3 to 6 months intervals to see if normal levels have been reached. In addition to vitamin D, if we were to pick one more nutrient that is important for telomere management, it would be omega-3 fatty acid. Omega-3 fatty acid are known to reduce inflammation and improve cardiovascular health, and their anti-inflammatory effect also have a positive effect on telomere health. According to a study conducted on general adults or patients with coronary artery disease, people with high blood omega-3 fatty acid concentration, or those who regularly eat fishes such as mackerel, salmon, trout, herring, sardine, and sauri, or those who take omega-3 fatty acid supplement, have slower and longer telomeres. In conclusion, people who consistently consume omega-3 fatty acid maintain their telomeres better than those who do not. You should have the habit of consistently eating mackerel, salmon, and nuts, etc. Now, I'll talk about the effect of various diets. As you all know, the Mediterranean diet is a diet rich in fruit, vegetables, nuts, olive oil, and fish, and is known to be effective in extending telomere length. A 2023 study that follows 317 adults with an average of 65 for 3 years found that telomeres in women were significantly longer than before. The second is the moderate protein diet. It does not mean consuming an extremely large amount of protein, but rather increasing protein intake slightly above the general recommended amount. For example, protein intake in a regular diet is about 10 to 15%, but in a moderate protein diet, it's about 20 to 30%. In terms of protein intake per 1 kilogram of body weight, a regular diet consumes 0.8 gram, but in a moderate protein diet, it consumes about 1.2 to 1.6 gram. It's effectively used when the goal is muscle maintenance, weight loss, metabolic health, and anti-aging. After following this diet for 4 months in 164 people aged 18 to 65, telomere length increased significantly, especially in women. The third is intermittent fasting. It's a method of maintaining fasting for a certain period of time, which reduces several beneficial physiological responses in the body. First, intermittent fasting reduces oxidative stress. During the fasting period, the body's oxidative reactions are reduced, which reduces cell damage, and this contributes to slowing down telomere attrition. Second, intermittent fasting promotes autophagy. Autophagy is a process of decomposing and recycling damaged cellular components, which play an important role in promoting the health of new cells, slowing down the aging process, and protecting and extending telomeres. In fact, when 500 adults who practiced intermittent fasting for 1 year were tracked for changes in telomere length, it was found that telomeres were maintained on average 7% longer than those in the control group who ate a regular diet. These results suggest that intermittent fasting has the effect of slowing down telomere attrition and delaying cellular aging. Consider intermittent fasting for telomere health. The practice of intermittent fasting will be explained in detail in the chapter on autophagy. The first is calorie restriction diet, which reduces total calorie intake but still consumes enough nutrient. The most realistic and easy to practice amount is to reduce calorie intake by 10 to 15% compared to usual, and most clinical studies have applied a method of reducing calorie intake by 20 to 25%. It's been confirmed in many clinical studies that it is a powerful tool for slowing down the aging process, reducing the risk of chronic diseases, and improving overall body health. There are very few clinical studies on the effect of extending telomeres. In 2024, healthy obese men and premenopausal women were divided into a group that reduced calorie intake by 25% and a group that ate freely and observed for 2 years. The degree of telomere shortening was smaller in the calorie restriction group. This concludes the fourth lecture. Thank you for your hard work studying. Next week is the last lecture on telomeres. We study herbs, natural products, and pills that have been proven to extend telomere length. See you next week.